This blueprint is something which is not any guesswork. It's something which is science. We have perfected this over years. We have results of over $15 million plus in revenue with this blueprint. And the best thing about this blueprint is that it's repeatable, which means you can use this to create multiple profitable e-com stores for yourself. Now let's hit the blueprint. Well, we wanted to hype this up a bit. We wanted to go all in. So we are famously calling this the RLTOS framework. The steps are easy, 5-step: research, launch, test, scale, and optimize.
So step one is research. Product research is your foundation. Yes, it's been done many times. You can look at it in YouTube. But you have to realize this is the most important step. If you have good research plus right validation, it makes everything easier in the other steps. You'll have better results. You have more profits. Do not half-ass your product research. It will tell you exactly how to do it with formulas.
And the big question is, where do you look for product ideas, right? One thing that you guys need to remember is that whenever you're looking at product ideas, the way we do it is we break it down into 2 categories in our head. First, we call them new products. These are novelty products, unique finds, products that are not selling in India right now, which means you can import them from China and sell them really easily with the never seen before angle, and can expect really good profitability out of it. The other type of products are viral products. These are generally evergreen products which have been already selling in India or are locally available as well.
Going forward, so we have something called the PC3 validation method. So this is what we look for in product ideas. Product fit, number one. It needs to solve a relevant problem in India. So take in case you want to migrate selling products in the US, don't do snow. Don't do barbecue. It might be good in the US is because it's a big country. There's often snow. You have big grills. You can go camping. But that's in the US, not so much in India. So be aware of that. Also, another big thing is make sure your product is below 500 grams because it's cheaper to ship out. That's something very, very important. And the third is make sure you don't sell just based on the wow factor. There's a difference between hope sales and real sales. A hope sale is what you get on Meta. It's a lead. It's COD. You don't get a sale unless you get the money from the customer into your bank or into your hands. So be aware of hope sales versus real sales, okay? Second is creative fit. Is there creatives available already in the market? For example, in TikTok is banned in India. That's a good source to get your creatives easily, cheaply, without going crazy. So on the third part is competition fit. Is it selling in Amazon Prime India? That's a good indicator. If it's a lot of listing in Amazon India, then I highly suggest not to do it. You'll have too much competition. And the second part is very, very important. Choosing the selling price. And the fourth is compliance fit. Making sure just having the knowledge with your region that selling vapes in India or sex toys is not allowed. Also working with your agency or your traffic sources like Meta especially. It's always a black box. You never know what's going to happen. So the second step is launch, right? So just get ready to set up your front end and your back end.
Coming to the front end operations, you set up your store, you set up your product page, and you set up your checkout. Now let me cover this up quickly on how you do it for India. Now for stores, of course, you have multiple platforms. Shopify is proven. We recommend Shopify. For themes, Debutify and Sense are good converting ones. You should also install an app called Advanced Cash on Delivery so as to activate the cash on delivery as a payment method on your store. Other apps that you can install are vFulfill, OnePixel, and you should also try and put a return and a refund policy early at stage because people often forget about it once they are putting things in place. Now this is basic. Let's come to the product page, which is an important one. Now you have to realize most of India buys over a mobile phone. So your product page must always be mobile ready. You must focus on GIFs more than videos. You should highlight cash on delivery available more on your page, and you should always add India-specific trust stamps which we'll show you an example for as we move ahead. Now, the most important point is setting up your checkout. Because you guys have to realize that Shopify's default checkout is not built for COD markets. And hence, we like to use an app called Release It or CheckoutX.
So let's talk about the backend operations, right? So this is affiliate world. So as an affiliate, we recommend you to source your backend operations because you just want to worry about your creatives, your media buying. So for number one, sourcing, I highly suggest 1688 for China, get it your wholesale or whatever. And then the second part is fulfillment, ship orders, collecting COD payments, tax management. That's a huge, huge deal. We would recommend you a company that would do that, but there's not that many companies. So that's why I work with vFulfill, because the hard part of COD is connecting the dots together. So we figured it out with vFulfill that if you're able to have your fulfillment and shipping orders, collecting your cash, getting the money from the customers into your bank, and then being able to deal with the Indian tax management and legal fees in one-stop shop, it makes things a lot easier. So let's move on to setting up your confirmation process, right? So typically, we suggest that you hire a call center in India. But we partnered up with a e-commerce company in India, and we realized that having a WhatsApp automated response, plus having vFulfill's database auto risk analysis, combine that together, we increased our order confirmation at 85%, and it's all automated.
Time for the next step, testing. Now, guys, we are not going to talk about how do you place campaigns on Facebook and all of that stuff. That's pretty basic. But these are the 3 metrics that you must measure for when you're testing your product out. The first is your CPA, second, confirmation rate, and third, delivery rate. A good CPA is about 20 to 25% of your AOV, which means 4 to 5x of ROS. Confirmation rate, a good one is 90 plus, and a good delivery rate is 55 plus. Now, of course, this is just a thumb rule to measure how you do things.
So we're talking about creatives. We're in the testing phase, right? So the cheapest way to have your product tested is just look at the TikTok creatives. The big thing is TikTok is banned in India, so there's no copyright issues. It's the biggest and fastest way and the cheapest way to test your creatives. On the other note is if you want to do your own thing, there's TikTok videos that you can get on PP ads. If you want to do more editing, you can use Clipchamp. And if you want to even go further with AI, there's English AI voiceover, 11 Labs. And the last part is Hindi AI voiceover really works with localization and COD. India and Dubverse does the job for us.
Coming to step 4, optimize. Well, guys, of course, optimization is an evergreen job. But then what we have done is we've put together few things that have always worked for us. So that if you want to get started, you always have an edge with India COD and you're not kicking tires and experimenting on the fly. Now in India, your profitability is typically a function of your CPA and your delivery rate.
So we have to optimize for cost per acquisition. And how do you do that? You have to increase your click-through rate and your conversion rate. So number one thing is having an expert fan page that's localized to India. So if you're selling a health product, having a page name like Dr. Patel versus Dr. Smith goes a long way. It's very, given. And the second part is, remember the foundations, right? The discount hooks, buy one, get one free, is always a proven and tested tip for any e-commerce brand to increase your CPA.
Now, the other one that you can do is put reviews and ratings on your page because you have to realize Indians love to buy what their peers buy. The next thing that you can always do is set up automated cart abandonments because this is one of the underdog methods to actually have automation work for you and bring you up to 8 to 10% extra sales. And of course, cart abandonment sales, guys, are like 0 CPA sales, so it's pure money. Next up is how do you optimize for your delivery rate? Well, it goes a long way, and of course, it's a proven fact that if you're able to reach your customers fast, you're going to have better delivery rates. So you want to work with a fulfillment center which is able to fulfill your orders in 1 day, and then ship them and reach your customer in 2 to 3 days. Another good hack is optimizing your thank you page. You have to realize thank you page is one of the most underlooked over real estate in your entire web flow. For example, what our partner did was on his thank you page, he started to embed those aggressive before-after reviews of his product and also started to place premium positioning for his product. Results, the delivery rate literally jumped by 5%. Next up is because you have already given that premium positioning, you want to stay in touch with your customers until your order delivers. For this, again, we can set up an automated WhatsApp sequence which can help you send shipping updates and continue to remind your customers about the orders coming in. Another one is set up offers on UPI. Now, what's UPI? UPI is like the Apple Pay of India. Everyone uses UPI in India, and it's very, very convenient. So it's natural if you put up an offer, something like this over here, which says, pay online via UPI and get 5% off. You can literally convert 10 to 15% of your COD orders into prepaid, which means instant money and guaranteed deliveries.
So let's talk about the final step, scaling. So what are we trying to scale for? We have to scale for more orders and more revenue. So how do we scale for more orders? There's something called vertical scaling. I'm sure you all know this. Launching new creatives, invest in localized user-generated content. It's a huge thing, especially in India.
Now, coming for horizontal scaling, what you guys can always do is add more traffic sources. You can now diversify from Facebook to Google or even native. You can use Taboola, Outbrain to do that. Native, by the way, is still not exploited in India as such, so there's scope over there. Another thing that you can do is convert your product into an affiliate offer and launch it on an Indian affiliate network so that you can get all of their affiliates to work for you.
So how do you scale for more revenue? We have to increase average order value. So number one is, again, setting up bundles, discounted bundles, the tried and tested, buy one, get one free. But the second part is setting up low value bumps. So for example, adding an extra connector for the straps for $129 goes a long way. So these little details really, really helps out to increase your AOV. That's why it's not that crazy with this slide, is because if you do this little step, it will really increase your AOV. So don't skip out on this.
Now, next up is how do you increase your customer LTV, right? Now, the beauty of this blueprint, that what we preach is you go about, use the blueprint, use the step one, and put more hero products back into your funnel. Now, of course, once you have more hero products in your funnel, you can choose to make bundles or simply remarket to your existing customers. And you can use these apps to remarket to your existing customers using SMS or WhatsApp. We do not see a lot of traction with email in India, but WhatsApp and SMS really, really work very well.